Hey guys, this is the demo of LoadFinder.ai by Appscrip.com. This is a product that we call as an AI freight broker solution for the logistics business. So this is primarily for the land freight, so the movement of trucks between cities, long hauls only. So we built this particular version for for a customer in Saudi Arabia. So that's the one we're giving you a demo of. So you may find some cities in KSA. So the product comes with this nice looking website. You can see all the latest loads here. It's like a load feed. It's updated in real time. And we have pages for shippers, brokers, carriers. And we've obviously optimized this for SEO. So we've got some, from to city kind of concept, and we make pages for that. So that'll help you rank better and hopefully get you more leads, right? So I'll show you by logging in as a shipper first. So I'll show you the shipper version of the product. Point out shippers, carriers, and brokers can all sign up on the product. We have this nice, easy to use sign up form, and they go through an approval process. We can log in with that email password, or I can log in with my phone number and verification code. So I'm just going to do that because that's easy. I put my phone number and put my verification code here. So the first thing I see is my shipper dashboard. So you will see the number of loads I've posted, the number of loads that have been assigned to a carrier, how many loads are open, how many loads are expired, how many offers do I receive per load on average, and what is my total spend, right? So you see the total volume with the rates, you see the popular lanes, and what the current market trends are. This data is coming from within the platform, and you'll see the quick lane stats, what are the rate trends, right? And I can change this for this week, this month, this year. So we have this nice looking dashboard that gives you these important data points. Now, in the product, we also have an option for shippers to turn into brokers. So if I click on the fleet management section, it'll ask me for more information. If I fill this up, I can effectively submit my request to become a broker. And as a broker, I will be able to not just not just post loads, but I'll also be able to search for loads. So since I'm talking about the shipper module first, I'll show you how a load is posted, right? So we'll start with that component. I'll click on the post shipment page. It opens this up. Now we also, before I do this, I'll show you. I'll talk a little bit about the feature we have for vendors. So we can basically create a list of contacts on the system, right? So Barrett Distribution Center. So it has different locations. I can also add a new vendor and I can fill up this form, right? Now I could have as a shipper a contact of. I could have carriers as in my contact, brokers in my contact, or I could have another shipper in my contact, or it would just be a warehouse location, right? So this is what the vendors or the slash contacts page is all about. So let me go back to post shipment. Now, the first thing it'll ask me is the sender and receiver information, right? It'll give me the sender and receiver. Sender is who is shipping this load. So I can look for, I can look for contacts within my contact book or my vendor book. So I just showed you that. So I'm just going to select one of them and I'll select one of the saved addresses. It just makes life easy. I don't have to add a new address. The next thing it'll ask me is to enter the receiver information. I can also choose that from within my contacts and I can choose one of these guys there, right? And I can then choose an address for that as well. So once I've done that, it'll ask me whether the load is being picked up from the same sender's address. I could say it's the same as the sender address and the receiver address could also be the same. Or I could put in a different, different address based on where that load is supposed to be picked up from and a different one for where it needs to be dropped. For the sake of the demo, I'm just going to keep this same. The pickup is same as the sender and the delivery is same as the receiver. Now, we support different payment methods. Now, you can pay by cash. Of course, some of these are test methods, but let's say you could also be doing a bank transfer. You could be doing a net 50, net 30, right? So I'll just select bank transfer for the moment. Now, who's going to pay for this? The sender is going to pay for this. Is it tradable? No. So some of these fields you may see are slightly more customized and localized for this market. If you're doing this in the US, it's a lot simpler. And we'll also make a demo for how the post shipment or post load page would look like if you're using this in the US. So that is primarily inspired by popular apps like DAT, 123 load board and stuff like that, right? But this one we have sort of localized to meet the needs of the Saudi Arabian market. So let me select delivery type, client, delivery to warehouse, right? Then we have this cargo details option. I can choose a different cargo details, like what am I shipping, what kind of cargo is it? I can say it's paper and it's products. I can also select what kind of shipment is it. Is it like a palletized? Is it just weight? Is it ton? Is it just pieces? So I'm just going to choose ton for now. I'm going to say 1 ton, right? I'm just going to put in some values here. Just going to put in 1 ton here, right? Quickly. Condition of goods. Now, if I want to add another load, I can go and add another cargo, and I can say that I'm going to ship something else as well. So I'm just going to put dummy values for the time being, just for the sake of the demo, and save that and move on, right? Now, when do I need this load picked up? I can select the date. So I'm going to choose a date that's tomorrow, and I want it picked up at, let's say I want to pick this up at 8 a.m., right? So I'm going to save that, and I want this to be delivered by Sunday, and I want this to be delivered by, let's say, 4 p.m. So I'm going to put that. Now, this is again a new feature that we have added. As a shipper, I could be posting this load on the marketplace. Marketplace is basically the load board. So all the carriers and brokers will see this on their feed. Or I could be posting it to my vendors. So my vendors basically means that I may have contacts of carriers, right, that are outside this tool. So basically I can use this LoadFinder.ai product as a almost like a private TMS and invite contacts or carriers from within my contacts who are not part of this load board. Then I also have this own vehicle concept. This again is in the case where the shipper has their own vehicle, so they could add their vehicle. It goes through the DTO, Department of Transport approval, and all that good stuff, and they could just use this entire product to just manage their own fleet, right? So it could be used as a TMS. So that's why we call this version of a product LoadFinder TMS. This comes with TMS features along with the load board. That's why it's a little interesting, right? Now, with that being said, we also have a plain load board app, which is just very similar to DAT. But this is the one that's a little unique and new, where we have 3 options for the shipment, right? Now it calculates the distance. I can also propose a rate. So I can say I'm willing to pay 1,000 SAR, and it'll give me the rate per kilometer. This option for accept bids basically is an option where in case I'm willing to accept offers, so the shippers and carrier, both of them can negotiate. So there's a back and forth flow that can happen where the shipper can post a load and they can say that they're willing to accept bids, right? If I disable this, then it will be a fixed price, and whoever wants the load will have to just take the load, take the price that's been offered. So for now, I'll just say accept bids. I'll just say test shipper notes for now. This could be like order numbers or some other stuff that you could add here. And I will post this load. Once the load is posted, I'll be able to see this in the My Shipments tab on the shipper portal. So I can quickly pull this up. If I click on the MID, it'll pull up the information about the load, right? It shows you the pickup drop. It'll show me a label, right? It generates an internal label, and it gives me the entire information, right? Like pickup, delivery, from what address, and then who the sender is, who the receiver is, payment information, things about the cargo. I get all the information. And on the right hand side, it'll tell me if I receive offers and all that stuff, right? So let me go back. If I want to see the notes, I can click on this and see the notes. And if an offer is received, I can see the offers right here. There's one guy who's placed an offer for 3,000, right? It's really up to me if I want to take this up or not, because I quoted 1,000 and this guy is asking 3,000. So I'm just not going to take that up for now. And if I want to unpost the load, I can. If I want to duplicate, view the details, I can. If I want to edit the load, I can also do that, right? So feature that we have. Now let me show you the flow between a shipper and a carrier. Right? So on the other window, I've already logged in as a carrier. So I'm just going to show you that. Now on the carrier portal, I'm on the dashboard. You'll see all the information about what's happening in the market. I can get carrier insights and all that good stuff here. If I go to the search shipment, this is where I can see shipments, right? So if I want to see the original, I can search for an origin. I can say Riyadh, destination. Let's say if I want to just do it within Riyadh, and I can choose a pickup date, is it tomorrow, and sort by age newest and accept it all. If I can search for it, it will show me the different loads. It shows me that right here, right? Let me just expand that a little bit. So I can see the information about the load right here as a carrier. I can see the load details, the shipper details, the vehicle info. You can see all that stuff here, right? And if there are any backhauls available, I'll also be able to see any backhauls, right? So it'll help me win a load back when I'm on the return journey, right? Counter offer flow, right? So I'll place a counter offer. 1,000 is what this guy is offering. I'm going to say 2,000, right? I'll confirm and send that. Once I send that, I'll see this in the tendering shipments tab. I'll be able to see this as a pending shipment. So it's pending because it's still waiting for the response from the shipper. If I go back to the shipper portal really quick, I'll go back to my posted loads. I'll see I've got 2 offers now. Now I can see Rehan Sharma. This is the carrier that I'm representing right now. I can either accept or I can counter this, right? Let's say I like this offer. I'm going to accept it. I'll say yes. So it goes into that, waiting for a response. If I go back to my shipper carrier portal, I'll be able to see that this is the offer and the shipper is accepted, and are you willing to accept or not? I can click on accept. I can also text the shipper. I can call the shipper. We have an internal chat engine that can let you text the shippers in real time. I'll accept this offer. I'll say yes, it looks good. Once it's accepted, it goes into my one tab and I know it's unassigned, right? And if I go back to the shipper portal, I'll be able to see that it's been accepted. And who's been assigned? Rehan Sharma is the carrier who's been assigned for the load, and I can go and see the details of the carrier, right? So I can see all that information, all that good stuff will be. I'll now get into the TMS part, right? As a carrier, I have a TMS concept that's integrated into the solution. This is where it's a little unique when you compare it to solutions. We have an option to manage our own fleet. So every carrier has an option to manage their own fleet. They can manage drivers, trailers, and vehicles. Now, they can add all the information about a vehicle, and all of this information it goes through a DOT, Department of Transport approval. In Saudi, there is WASL, that's an API that's used to authenticate all legit transport vehicles. So we have that integrated market. So every market like India or the US, APIs to validate a vehicle, the vehicle is legit or not. So we can integrate those. Same with drivers. All the driver information, when you add a driver, they go through an approval process, right? They provide all their identification proof and all of the other documents that are needed, and they go through a DOT approval process. So we have integrated APIs for that already, and we can localize it based on different markets. This is a fleet management concept. If I go back to my home and I go back to my tendering shipments, I'll go back to my one loads, and here I'll click on assign. So now I can assign one of my drivers this load, right? I'm going to assign it to Diego, and I can see this is his license number. So confirm to create Bayan. Bayan is pretty much available. Again, it's a DOT integration. In the Middle East, they use Bayan, but this could again be localized for your own market. This would basically update the load information with the details of the carrier and the driver and the vehicle to the government or the Department of Transport. So once I do that, that's done. I have to, update something here. I'm going to change this. I'm going to disable this for now because our Bayan integration is not live, and I'm going to confirm this, right? So now that's been assigned. I can see that the assigned driver is Diego, and if I want, I can see the details. I can print a variable. So if I click on this print variable, it will basically generate a variable, and I can use that to share with the shipper if needed. But this is more of an internal variable that gets generated, right? I can print the variable as well. Let me disable, comes out here, and I can see this is the variable that gets printed, right? So it comes with information about the company, all the different data that's required on the variable is all put out on this printable version, right? If I want to cancel a shipment, I still can, and if I want to see the details, I can see the details. The share option is nothing but a URL. This is like, in some cases, the drivers may not have access to internet, right? So they may not be able to update the status of the load. We have given an option where we can basically update the status of the load from the carrier portal. Let me quickly get the login information for the driver. I'll go in here, I look at Diego. I see that this is his number. Let me quickly pick it up, put that in here. I'm going to log in with the license number. So that's over here. Put this, and I click on continue. What we have done different is we realized, speaking to customers, that a lot of the drivers do not like using their app. They don't like being tracked. So they don't like their phone being connected to the GPS. So on the fleet management side, if you want to track the fleet live, we can. We have an option for track vehicle, right? This is basically going to track all the vehicles on a map And all this information that is shown here will come from the onboard GPS, right? Every vehicle, every truck usually has an OBD device or some device, and that comes equipped with a GPS sensor. So we'll be able to live track the vehicle. And we have, if it's a refrigerated truck and if the sensors are available, we'll be able to see the humidity and the percentage of and the temperature in the truck as well, right? All of this is subject to availability of data and availability of sensors on whatever platform you're using. We can integrate with many different devices. It's completely API driven. We can localize this for you based on your whatever product you guys use in your fleet, right? So it can be localized. Let me go back to the tendering. On the driver side, this is the information that is shown, right? And if I go back to the carrier portal, if I go back quickly here, 1 second, let me just quickly go to the details page. I'll be able to see the details of the driver as well, right? This is the one. It is assigned. Let me go to the assigned tab. This is the one that we were working on. I can see the details. And I can see the details of the posted by, accepted by which carrier. Can see all the information, right? I can also track the status in real time. I can see where the vehicle is, and I can get live updates from the GPS sensor that's on the vehicle, right? So you can see the carrier name, and I can also see the name of the driver right here. So I can at any point call the driver or the carrier in case I need some information. Now, if I go back to the carrier portal, I can, if the driver is ready to start the job, they can click on start job. So I'll show you how the driver tracking link looks on mobile. So I'm just going to quickly share my mobile screen with you guys so that you can see how that looks. Just gonna change that here. Yeah, so you can see it here. And this is how the tracking link looks on the mobile phone, right? So this is what the driver would see. When the driver is on the way, or when they're ready to go on the way to the pickup, they'll swipe on the start job page. So that goes. So now the UI says that they're on the way to pickup, right? And once they arrive at the pickup, they can say that they have arrived. And once they've finished picking up and loading the vehicle, they will click on, the pickup is complete, and they can upload some documents, they can upload images. So this is basically proof of pickup, right? So they can upload some document quickly. So I'm just gonna pick something up from here. I'll take my photo library. I'm just gonna drop a random document for the time being, right? And I'll upload that file. And I can add some proof of pickup notes, right? Test POP notes. And I can confirm that, right? So once that is done, then the driver is on the way to the drop, right? So all of this, and I'll quickly show you, all of this is being updated in, for the shipper. I mean, the shipper can see all this live tracking on their tracking link. So they can see all the information here. So you can see where the driver is. You can see the POP that he's uploaded. This is what I had added from my app. So this is all updated in real time. And they can also track the driver live on a map. So this is the whole live tracking feature that we also have. And this is all updated in real time, right? So now let me screen share my driver flow again quickly. So you can again see the screen on my driver app or the driver web link. And when I'm on the way to drop, I'll say I'm on the way to drop. When I've arrived at drop, I'll update the status as arrived to drop. At the time of drop, I have to then upload the proof of delivery. So once the unloading is finished, I'll just say upload POD, and now I can upload proof of delivery, right? This is again very important. I'll be able to take a photo, or I can browse my files. I'm just going to upload 2 images quickly. Okay, I can only upload images, so I'm just going to upload one. I'm just going to quickly, okay, just take this. It's not accepting that. Let me just quickly take a photo. So I'm just going to take a quick photo. I'm going to upload that. And this will become the proof of delivery. POD notes. And I'll confirm that, right? So once that is done, the delivery is marked as, and the proof of delivery is done, and I can mark the job as completed, right? So the job is now completed. Now I can go back on the carrier or on the shipper portal, right? And mind it, the carrier and the shipper both would receive all these updates in real time, right? It's not just one of them. If I go to the details, it will show me that it will show me all the updated information, including the proof of delivery, right? So POD and POP notes are both updated against the delivery. So I can see this now in the completed tab, right? So I've completed this delivery and this was a vehicle. If I need to print the vehicle, I can. If I want to see the details, I can always go back here and see the information, see the details here. But I can print the vehicle, I can print the bayan, right? So this is the flow interaction between a shipper and a carrier in the marketplace flow. And this comes integrated with the TMS, and we've just demonstrated how all of this comes together, right? So I will continue showing you the flow of how the vendor flow will happen in case a shipper wants to invite the vendor. And in the third flow after that would be if a shipper wants or a broker wants to sort of assign a load to their own drivers, right? So I'll show you those flows next. Now I'll show you the next flow that we have, which is the shipper can invite a vendor to accept the load. So vendor is the carrier of sorts, who a carrier or broker who is not part of this marketplace, right? That means a shipper has an offline relationship and they want to invite the vendor to bid on the load or accept the load. So I'm just going to quickly create a new load, and it's pretty much the same as what I had. I'm just going to go through this really quick. I'm just going to pick up just going to pick up a load here. I'll confirm that the pickup is same as sender. So this is same, and too much about it. Really quick. Just gonna go through this quickly. Save this load. I'll take a pickup. So I just wanted picked up. So I want this pickup tomorrow, right, 10 a.m. and I want this dropped by 11. I want to do this by 18. Okay. Now I'm gonna choose a vendor. So I have one vendor created here, right? This is the vendor, Dimitri John, right? I'm gonna invite that vendor. I'm gonna propose a rate for this load. I will not accept bids, so this is going to be a fixed bid. He wants it, he takes it, right? So I'm just going to put an offer in there, shipper notes, and I will post it. Once it's posted, it goes to my shipments. It'll show up here. And this is my vendor. The vendor will receive an email that there is a new load that you've been invited to bid on. If I click on place your bid, it'll open the invite or the URL. And I can, if I want to see what number I've used, I'll quickly go to my vendor portal and I will pick up this number. This is the number that has been shared with me. Quickly go here, log in, and I can then see the load as a vendor, right? So this is the load. It will tell me how much money I'll make and how much I'll make per kilometer. I can click on accept and accept, right? Now it goes to the negotiation flow in some sense. It's waiting for the shipper or the TFS or the broker to accept. So now I'll go back to my shipper portal. I'll go on tendering shipments. Right? Sorry, I'll go to my shipments and go on accepted. I see there's an offer here in the posted tab. And here I know that the vendor is accepted. If I want to accept it, I can accept the load. Now the load gets assigned to a vendor. Now the cool thing is that the load has been accepted by a carrier who is not within the system, right? And once that is done, the carrier or the vendor can assign the vehicle and they can add a number here, right? They can put a number plate and they can then assign the load to one of their own drivers, right? They can put in an IME number and click on continue, right? And now the vendor can actually assign or update the status as the delivery is happening. So they can update it, and they can update it manually from this portal. And if I go back to my shipper portal, I will be able to see the updates happening here. I'll be able to see all the information here, right? This is how the flow works between a shipper and a vendor. This is a way in which a shipper can post a load and invite one of their offline carrier or broker contacts to bid on the load, right? This is a new feature that we have added into the LoadFinder.ai product, right? Next, I will cover the flow where the broker can log in, create a load, and assign it to one of his own drivers, right? They can use it. They can effectively use LoadFinder.ai as almost like a SaaS solution, which comes with its own TMS. Now I'll show you the third flow that we have on LoadFinder.ai. I'll log in as a broker. I already have a broker account, so I'm just going to log in quickly. Right now, a broker can effectively have its own fleet. So we have fleet management available for a broker account. So I've added, the broker can add their own drivers, vehicles, trailers, right? And then broker can also post a shipment. So I can effectively post a shipment quickly. Right? This flow I've already covered, so I'm just going to run through this really quick, right? I'm going to put in a receiver. I'm just going to add some information here, select one of the addresses, right? And I can confirm the pickup is same as the sender and the delivery same as the receiver. Put in some payment method, Sadad, which is again popular in the Middle East, and choose all these things, add some random cargo information for now, right? Just gonna put this in here, save this, right? And I can say pick up today. I'm gonna pick this up at 9 o'clock. Sorry, 10 o'clock. And I want to drop this off the day after at 7 in the morning, right? I'm going to give it to one of my own vehicles. So I can select one of my own vehicles from here. And this vehicle is already been mapped to this driver called Darwin. So I'm going to confirm that. Confirm to create Bayan, right? This is again like Bayan is basically the equivalent of a variable, which is an API that the Department of Transport sort of exposes. This is in the Middle East, and we can, again, like I said before, we can change this. For now, I'm just going to disable it since we're what I'm billing, like this is what I'm getting paid. So this is what the broker has negotiated offline outside the system, and they're just going to give it to one of their drivers, right? So this is the broker notes. I'm going to post this. So once it's posted, it's basically already assigned, right? So it comes directly to the assign tab, and the broker can sort of see what's happening, right? So they can see the details. They can already get the details of the driver. They know what the trailer is, the vehicle is, and who the assigned driver is. And the driver would, again, just like the other flows, they would receive their own driver tracking link on which they can update the status, right? So that will be in there. So if I click on the share driver link, this is the link that the driver gets sent via a text message, which they can effectively log in and they can update the status just like how we did it before. So this is how the flow works for for the broker assigning the load to one of their own drivers, and the broker can they can track their vehicles live. They click on the track vehicle, and the onboard GPS can be used to track the vehicle live, and they can get all the real-time updates, right? That's how it works. So all this is pretty much common for carriers and for brokers, right? So this is how we kind of enable a TMS flow for brokers on LoadFinder.ai, right? Let me know if you guys have any questions. Happy to answer. Thank you. Now let me come to the more exciting part of LoadFinder.ai and the reason we call LoadFinder.ai an AI product. One of the features we have that is AI enabled is this unified inbox feature. If you guys have heard of apps like Vuma and Cartage, it's something on the similar lines. So we have this unified inbox for carriers. So carriers can link their emails and the emails on which they receive all the load requests, right? So for new jobs, they can sync that email So our AI would classify all the emails that are about a new load. For example, this one is coming in from a shipper called Velocity Logistics, right? So they are sending in a load, and it comes in via an email. Our email tool will let our carriers create a quote directly from here. So I get the information, I extract the information from the email, and then I can use AI, and the AI would recommend what rate I should quote, right? So we use the information from Greenspace and other, let's say DAT. We could get the current market rates that are going on. So we get the lane quote history, like what are the rates that have been quoted and what rates have been won in the last few days. And that would give us a better idea of what the spot rates look like, right? And what rates would effectively mean that the carrier can sort of win this bid, right? So the AI does that. AI recommends a rate, right? And it will recommend a margin. It will recommend what rate you should quote, and the AI will also draft a response, right? So that's something that we have come up with. And once that draft response is made, you can directly send that email out to the shippers, right? So effectively, the AI is adding all the market intelligence that you would otherwise have to, get from other tools. The AI gets all that intelligence, reviews it all in one place, and comes up with codes that will actually help you win as more loads as a carrier. So this is one part of, the one part of the LoadFinder AI product that we've added or we've enabled with AI, just making the whole load board and quoting process a lot smarter. The other thing that we've also done on the LoadFinder AI product is that we've built in a feature of voice AI. So every time a load is posted by a shipper, and on all carriers who have that lane saved in their favorites would get a call from AI, and then the AI would effectively negotiate with the carriers on the rates, and it'll try to basically get um, the load assigned to one of them, right? So the idea about the voice AI is that the carriers would never miss a good load, right? One if one is posted, and let's say if they're on the field, and then they're not on the computer, or they're not on their email, they would still get a call, and they can decide on that AI call whether they want to take up the load or not. So that's the second voice AI solution that we are adding into LoadFinder.ai. And all of these, if you want to, these are all inspired from the popular AI products like Booma and Cartage. So that's why we call LoadFinder AI an AI product. All right, thank you.